Okay, here I am back with card number 2. This is a very quick and simple but cute card. So let's get started with that. Card number 2. Just want to remind you to be very careful when you do open your cards up, because they're tiny little pieces like this right here that are going to be in there, and they may get caught up caught up in between things. So I want you to be careful when you open them. Okay, so I'm just going to pull out all the pieces that we have. Now I think your flower's different. You might have a bigger flower, and that's for the inside. Okay, so you have a large flower and the flower that will go in the middle of that. You have the label. You have whatever flower I did put in. I think it's something a little larger. And you have the leaf. And then you have the strip that goes on the inside. You have the ribbon, the angular piece, the embossed piece, and the piece that goes on the inside. And then the base and the envelope. So the first thing we are going to do is move all this over and then bring out our silicone mat and use liquid glue behind just a small amount in the center, so you can place those little center pieces. So for this one, I'm doing the white. This one, I'm doing the flower. And then this little leaf goes behind the little flower. Oops. And you can bring those together if you want. Okay, just like that. And we can move those over. And now we're going to put some liquid glue behind this piece. And I'm using a good amount of liquid glue on these cards because you need to be able to manipulate them. And then we'll put that on top of the embossed piece. Line it up. And there you have it. Okay. And now also, since this is liquid glue, we want to put liquid glue behind the embossed piece, because you want to get into all those little nooks and crannies of this folder, this cardstock here. Better to use liquid glue to get in those little spots, because sometimes with an embossed piece of cardstock, if you use adhesive, it will pull up the cardstock. Okay, so just a little tip there in case you haven't heard me say it on my lives before. I would suggest liquid glue behind an embossed image. Okay, now we can zigzag our ribbon. Now you can either zigzag, or I think it's kind of long, the one that I gave you, or you can tie a bow, right? You can do either one, zigzag or tie a bow, and then pull it out. I have to remember to stay up here, I'm sorry. And then you have a good amount on each side, and then you can cut it down. So I would just use some glue dots. I'll put one right here. The ribbon is going to cover the glue dots, and so will a label. Then just go like that. And we can fix that up shortly. Now we can stamp a sentiment. And what do I want to use? So on the first one I used, on this one I used "You Are Amazing." The other one I used "Congrats, You're So Fancy Now." I think I'm going to do "Happy Birthday." Ah, I forgot my block. Try "Happy Birthday" on this one. I'm putting it sideways on an angle to fit better. And I'm using Night of Navy. Oh, that just barely fits on here, actually. I guess I'm not going to use this one. That label's not long enough for that sentiment. So I'm going to go with "You're Amazing" again. Maybe not. Let me see what I have out. Hold on. Let's see. I have, sorry about that. I have this celebration one. It says it's approaching perfection. I'll just use "Happy Birthday" from here because it's big and bold. And I want it to be different than what I used earlier. I don't want another "You Are Amazing." I don't know how many people that I can send that to. So just grab what you have in your stash. And that's what I'm going to do. It's big and bold. And we'll just stamp that right there. I'll put my label on my stamp later. Yeah, that's great. It's nice and bold for this card, right? I think this card needs a bold sentiment. Yeah, I like that a lot. So I'm going to put some dimensionals over here. On this side and in the center. And then I'm going to put some actually some dimensionals all around. Yep. And then down there. Yep, some dimensionals all around, I believe. If I have to move one, I will. Okay, so that'll go like that. Like that. I'll cut down some of this ribbon while I'm at it. Just a little bit. And then this will go on top. Maybe more like that this time. Maybe I should have done the sentiment a little to the left to fit this better, but this fits fine. So I'm going to put some dimensionals here and liquid glue here. Dimensional, dimensional, and a little liquid glue here. Because these are the pieces that are going to be sitting on top of the label. Okay. Yeah, you see how my flower's a little bit closer because I went to the left, and this one's a little bit more in the center, so I should have put it to the left. So let that be a note to you. Hold on one second. Sorry, there's a little noise upstairs. Hold on. Can you shut the door? Charlie, please? Can you please shut the door? Okay, sorry about that too. My husband decided that he needed to do something in the kitchen when I'm doing a recording, and he didn't realize I was doing a recording, I'm sure. Okay. Now you put the strip on the inside. and just cut off that little excess. And then glue that down. Okay, and then adhere to the inside. And card number 2 is, oh, you can add gems wherever you want. I added a gem. Let's add them. So if you have the gems, add one up here, larger one, a medium one to the center, maybe a smaller one here, and maybe a small one or a medium one to the center here. There you go. Card number 2, done. See you for card number 3 in a moment.